So the question is, should you update your home in order to sell it, right? Okay, so the most important thing here is, deciding whether to update the home or not really depends on, what's the return on your investment on that, right? So a lot of times it depends if you're planning to hire a contractor to go and do this versus doing it yourself, you might get a better return doing it yourself. At the same time, your time has value. So, you've got a job. If you're, I had a client one time who he was fixing his home up. There was a lot of deferred maintenance, we'll say, on the home. And so he was going in and we said, hey, let's just put a sign in the yard and sell this thing. It's going to save you a lot of time and money. He said, no, I'm going to do it myself. He ended up having to take a week of vacation from work in order to work on the home to do a whole bunch of things to it. Now, in the end, he got a bigger check in his pocket than if he had contracted somebody to do it. But in his case, he would have been better off if you take the whole thing as a whole of going to work, spending that vacation with his family instead of ripping out carpet that smelled like dog stuff, right? I mean, that's what he was doing. And I'm like, we can hire somebody to do this. It's actually not that much to demo carpeting and then just clean it out and make it an investor special. You're going to actually get more for you're going to get about the same unless you are really skilled and have excess time to do this yourself. Now, if that's your business, I mean, we don't even need, you wouldn't even have this conversation with me, right? But it's not. This isn't what you do, right? So, it's kind of like what is, let's talk about market conditions. So the current state of the market we'll call it a frenzied market. The stuff that's flying off the shelves is the stuff that's in HGTV condition, right? Super clean, updated in the last year, looks modern, and is clean and staged and priced right. Okay, those are the stuff that's just flying off and they're getting multiple offers and it's great. The other stuff that's flying off is the stuff that is ready for somebody to do value add. What do I mean is like somebody where they say, hey, I can replace that carpet, rechange the paint, and either make it my own or turn around and sell it. Now, if you can find somebody who is handy themselves who wants to buy your home, a lot of times if you just discount the price based on the condition, you can sell it to somebody who's going to move into that, somebody who's handy, who's going to do it themselves, right? But we want to be careful because if we discount it too much, we are going to get a lot of offers from investors, and those investor offers are going to be lower because not only do they need to hire a contractor to do the work, but then they need to make a profit after all of their holding costs and everything, right? So their number comes in a lot lower. But that's okay. You're going to get those offers. We might have to wait it out a little bit to get the one that's accurate. But so let's say, I think your house is going to be about $500,000 if it was all fixed up. So it needs, let's just throw a number out. Let's pretend that it needs $40,000 worth of work. Okay. All right. So if you just pulled 500 minus 40 is 460 and you sell it to some guy where he is super handy, he can do it himself. He's like, hey, I got this thing as a $40,000 discount. I can put carpet in myself and it's only going to cost me a couple thousand and I can paint on the weekends. I'm really good at it. And I just made myself $30,000 or $40,000 and they'll be super happy, right? In the same time, you could hire a contractor to come in and do all that work and it's going to cost you $20,000, $30,000 to have somebody come do that. And you're really not going to get the return on your money. So you might be better off just pricing it appropriate for the condition and moving on. That's really what it is. The only reason that people flip houses and do all that work and flip it is because they find somebody who is just either desperate or really interested in or they're just tired of a house. And then they are willing to walk away for a song, right? And that's the only way that they make money. The majority of people aren't going to sell it to those folks. And I don't think you'd be in that position either. So you just got to decide what are you willing to do and how does that affect the buyer pool? So imagine, like in your case, the roof is fine, but imagine that you had a leaky roof. Well, somebody who's coming in with a VA or an FHA loan is not going to be able to buy that house. Okay, because the VA appraiser is going to say, nope, you need a new roof or you need to fix that. And unless you're willing to do that, it's just not going to happen. right? So you shrink your pool of buyers. At the same time, if let's say that you go, hey, the stove's busted, it doesn't work, I'm just going to yank that out. Now there's no stove. Well, even a conventional loan, they're going to say, well, you can't live in the house. And it's not going to pass a conventional loan unless it is ready to be lived in. So you're now at the point where it's a cash offer or something like that. So there's a bare minimum that you want in order to qualify your buyer for a loan, either a conventional or a VA or FHA loan. But if it's, less than that, shoot, just, let's price it for a cash offer and go from there. Now it depends. Like I said, if it's really small things, we can improve those and actually make a difference. And if it comes to, sometimes folks have a problem with cash up front. And if it's just a matter of cash up front, there's actually programs we have where we can lend you the money ahead of time, interest free until closing. And then you just, pay us back at closing, which is actually a pretty good deal, right? So that helps you do those updates ahead of time. You want to use it, we'll use a contractor and all that other stuff. And we're going to make sure that it's actually done properly so that you can market it and actually get the more money. So that is an option if it's just a money issue. Now that said, something we probably should do is minor repairs. So when it comes to little things like leaky faucets, broken appliances, a lot of times those can make your home look a lot less desirable. So fix those small things. Even if you sit there and go, hey, I got foundation damage. Yeah, great. Fix the small stuff too, because all this big stuff with the small stuff kind of goes together and it makes it so that your house looks a lot less desirable. Should you do some of those cosmetic things, such as like paint and carpeting, or should you go bigger and do a kitchen and bath? Well, let's just start with a kitchen and bath. Those are generally not going to return the money to you that you put into them. Okay. You put 20 grand into a kitchen, you're not raising the price by $20,000. If you put 10 into a bathroom, you're not raising it by 10. If you put $10,000 into your roof, you're not raising the price at all, because the house is supposed to have a working roof, right? So if it's working, don't change the roof. If it needs it, put it on there. You're not raising the price based on the cost to you. Buyers don't care. It's supposed to have a roof. It's supposed to have windows. It's supposed to have doors that work. Those are things that are supposed to be. If you've got ductwork or HVAC issues or things like that, let's face it, they're just going to discount the price. And if you fix those things, that just makes it market price. Okay. Now, when it comes to the cosmetic things like paint, carpeting, stuff like that, that actually can go a long way. One of the easiest things you can do to impact the resale value of your home is fresh paint. So especially if that's something you do yourself and you're good at it, you can do that yourself. I will tell you that a lot of people think they're going to save a few bucks, and in the end, their paint job is so bad that it actually costs them money. So I even have a professional sprayer, and I don't even do my own paint jobs anymore. I hire somebody because they're just more skilled at it. You think painting a room is, just labor. It's not. It's actually it's a skill. So it's worth paying somebody to paint the house if you need it. And that will most likely have a return on your money. Okay. You're not going to put $3 grand into paint and get 10 grand, but it will sell it for, a fair price and probably faster. All right. Now, when it comes to new windows, a lot of time the lead time on new windows is excessive. So that may not even be a thing. Adding insulation or upgrading energy efficient appliances, I don't think you're going to get the return on that. I would generally not go in that direction. What about curb appeal? Curb appeal is huge. A lot of times that stuff is really not that expensive because it's a lot of labor. So, mow the lawn, trim the edges, trim the bushes, clean all that stuff out. Go grab your truck and go get a load of mulch and spread the fresh mulch down. Go so far. Weed the beds, right? Clean out your gutters, pressure wash. Now, pressure washing is tricky. Not everybody's as good at it as they think they are. If you pressure wash and you leave the lines, yeah, you messed it up. You made it worse, right? Don't do that. If you hire a professional, they're going to bring in like the thing that looks like they're waxing the floor, right? And that thing's pretty cool. And they make quick work of it, and they can do a really good job on your house. And it looks amazing. So curb appeal is huge, and you will get your money back on things you put in for curb appeal. You will get your money back in for staging, generally for paint. And beyond that, probably not. Shoot, you want to know the biggest thing to not do? Put in a pool. I tell you what, if you put in a pool, you can write that money off. Pool costs you $80,000, might add $5. might add 10. It's just not, the value is just not there for the resale. In summary, you asked, should I update the home before selling it? The short answer is it depends. And I hate to do that answer, but there are a few things you should do: curb appeal, clean it up, neutral paint. And beyond that, you probably don't want to. At that point, we want to just discount the price to reflect the current condition. All right. If that makes sense. All right. All right. Cool. Did I answer your question? All right. And let's move on. What was the next thing you were going to ask me?